We're drawing to a close before the big event tonight. I just want to say a number of thank yous, which I'm afraid you'll hear me say again later. But what a good job you've done. This is the second year running. You might get asked again, you know. Lanre, very well done. Thank you very much indeed for everything. I also want to thank my team, who have been amazing, putting up with all the sort of what I call high maintenance issues, and one or two high maintenance people has not been easy, but getting to this point where we've had so many people really connecting has got a lot of credit to all our team who I think have worked tirelessly, and please don't stop yourself from applauding them. And Lord Mayor, one of our great supporters since we started. I remember coming round to see you in your office and being told of all the incredible places you've travelled to, and you're a real international figure, as we know, and now that you are Lord Mayor, it's just fantastic for the City of London and the United Kingdom that you're prepared to pick up the baton and engage internationally, and that's fantastic for us. And what a generous gesture from the city and yourself to host a magnificent dinner tonight in one of the great buildings of our country. And I really want to place our thanks on record to you, all the staff at the Mayoralty and the staff at the Guildhall, who've been nothing but huge supporters of ours. So please do put your hands together for the Lord Mayor, who will address us in a minute. But how lucky we are to have none other than Wamkele Mene, who is the Secretary General of the African, what's the word I'm missing? Continental Free Trade Agreement. Amazing that they have achieved this free trade agreement in a record time. It makes what goes on in Europe look like sort of an extraordinary process of length. It's a fantastic achievement, and we've had real privilege of hearing from you earlier about what you're up to. And I think that's what we want to do now. So without any further ado, can I present the Secretary General himself to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lord Marland, for the introduction. May I also join you in recognizing the Lord Mayor, the Deputy Chairman, Lord Swire, Honorable Ministers, business leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be with you this evening. I want to start by appreciating the flexibility of your team. I was invited to speak yesterday. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it yesterday, and your team was able to be innovative in the program and to enable me to be here this evening. And so I thank you very much for your flexibility and for the opportunity to be here with you. The Commonwealth is obviously a very, very important consideration in Africa's geo-economic standing. A number of African countries, substantial economies in the world, are members of the Commonwealth, as they are also state parties to the agreement establishing the AfCFTA. And I believe that this is a very opportune time, as we were discussing earlier in the holding room. This is a very opportune time for the Commonwealth and the AfCFTA to consider how best to take advantage and create opportunities, mutually beneficial opportunities on both sides, given that the African continent is now on the move, fully on the move in the implementation of the AfCFTA. As you may be aware, as we speak, 47 countries have ratified the agreement establishing the AfCFTA. We have concluded a number of significant protocols, There are only two protocols that are yet to be concluded, and that is the protocol on digital trade and the protocol on women and youth in trade. The rest of the work that we had set out when we started this negotiation in earnest in 2016 has been concluded. Of course, the African continent is behind in the objective of creating a single market. And that is what we recognize, that we have to accelerate the pace and the speed to take advantage of the market that exists. 1.3 billion people, combined GDP as we speak of 3.4 trillion United States dollars. And projections are that by the year 2050, by the turn of the century, the African market will be a combined GDP of 16.3 United States dollars, that is to say consumer spending and business spending. And also that at that time, Africa will have the world's largest working force and the world's largest, youngest population on record. And so all of these positive factors and indicators compel us really to accelerate the market integration and to accelerate the objective of ending the fragmentation that has been the character of Africa's economy for the last 60 to 70 years since the end of colonialism. So market fragmentation, smallness of national economies, 42 currencies that we have on the continent, lack of industrial capacity, all of these factors combined contributed to a very, very low intra-Africa trade of 18%. And so as I mentioned earlier, in the wisdom of the Assembly of Heads of States and Government, our leaders, we are now fully on the march in creating a single market and in creating certainty, predictability of the market, not only for foreign investors, but also for African investors who are seeking to invest in any of the 47 countries that have ratified the agreement establishing the AfCFTA. I'm very pleased, therefore, that the summit yesterday and today discussed, exchanged views on a number of common challenges, which also in the AfCFTA we are confronting. And that is, for example, financing for small and medium enterprises, innovation, supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises to enable them to be more competitive. All of these challenges are challenges that we are also confronting. And of course, the African continent presents a substantial business potential opportunity in a range of sectors. Some of them, again, you discussed here, including agriculture, infrastructure investment, natural resources, with the African continent having over 30% of the world's remaining natural resources. And so the AfCFTA presents for the Commonwealth countries an investment opportunity. If we take, for example, the area of the automotive sector, the African continent produces just over 1 million units of vehicles per year. India produces 5 million units of vehicles per year. The African continent is over 17% of the world's population. And so this clear deficit, in my view, is an opportunity for further investment, investing in electric vehicles, investing in a productive capacity that will power the automotive sector for many, many decades to come. Similarly, in the area of pharmaceuticals, here we believe we present a very unique opportunity for investing once again in industrial development of the pharmaceutical sector. The continent of Africa imports in the year 2019, imported $16 billion worth of pharmaceuticals. We believe that the continent has the capacity, working with our partners, investors, has the capacity to produce those pharmaceutical products on the African continent, creating jobs, productivity, and contributing to Africa's innovation. In the area of digitization and the significant digital market in Africa, here the good news is that Africa has always been on the cutting edge of digital innovation and digital and mobile banking technologies. We know the success in Eastern Africa, particularly in Kenya, with the introduction many years ago of mobile banking facilities to enable financial inclusion and to enable digital inclusion, particularly of small, medium enterprises. And I'm very pleased to report to you today that by the end of this year, the target that we have for ourselves is to conclude the protocol on digital trade, and that protocol will address a number of critical enablers for the digital economy of Africa, such as market access, predictable regulatory frameworks, a framework for payments and settlement, as well as, of course, the very, very important economic driver, and that is data processing and data management. I believe that with the protocol on digital trade of the AfCFTA, there's absolutely no reason why the African continent cannot be as globally competitive in the digital economy and digital markets as any other place in the world. Millions and millions of young Africans, young entrepreneurs are at the cutting edge of digital innovation in Lagos, in Kigali, in Rwanda, in Nairobi, Johannesburg. All of these young people stand ready to contribute to Africa's economy, and the protocol on digital trade of the AfCFTA is a very, very important enabler of that capability. Now, in the spirit of collaboration, I believe that once again, the Commonwealth and the AfCFTA have a very unique opportunity to explore how our collaboration can be taken forward, particularly in the areas that I've mentioned, the digital economy, digital trade, financing for small, medium enterprises, investing in infrastructure, particularly trade supporting infrastructure. All of these areas which were discussed here over the last day and a half are areas of critical priority for the AfCFTA. And as we were discussing earlier, before we stepped into the room, the absence of a free trade agreement between the Commonwealth and the AfCFTA should not preclude us from developing very, very meaningful commercial trade and investment ties. I believe we should be innovative. In the absence of a free trade area, we should be innovative about how to accelerate the synergies that I've identified, and how to make sure that a market which is projected, as I said earlier, by the year 2050 to be over 16 trillion United States dollars, how the Commonwealth countries can benefit from that market, and how we can, of course, create jobs, innovation, accelerate industrial development in the Commonwealth, and certainly in the AfCFTA market. So I conclude on this note, a very, very positive note of looking forward to very strong collaboration, looking forward to partnerships so that we can see mutual benefits of job creation, industrial development. I want to once again thank you very much for the invitation, and I look forward to bilateral discussions with many of you over the course of the evening. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, my Lord, ladies and gentlemen, it is wonderful to see so many Commonwealth nations and businesses here in London for the second day of this two-day summit. We were honored that the Prime Minister of Samoa, the Honorable Fiame Naome Mataafa opened these discussions yesterday morning, and it is a privilege to be able to join you this afternoon to close them. And no, don't worry, there won't be an end of summit quiz to test you. Now, I lead the City of London Corporation as the 695th Lord Mayor. We are the municipal governing body of the City of London, the world's oldest democratic workers and residents cooperative, nearly 1,400 years old. And I get to serve as an international ambassador for the UK's financial and professional services sector this year. Now, as Lord Marland said, the City Corporation was proud to be a founding member of the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council in 2015, backing up Lord Marland's real sense of vision about the potential for the Commonwealth and the potential for trade. And so I must begin by thanking you, Lord Marland, for all that you have done. And as we said earlier, I'd like to also thank the entire team at the Commonwealth Enterprise Investment Council who brought us together over the past 2 days, and this is the third time that this summit has convened. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you do not need me to tell you that we live in challenging times. Since last year's summit, the world has become more violent and volatile. Our weather patterns less predictable, our crop yields less stable, our supply chains more turbulent. And all of this has exposed vulnerabilities in our economies, global trading and investment systems, and existing models of production and consumption. But as Robert Kennedy once said, all of us might wish at times that we lived in a more tranquil world, but we don't. And if our times are difficult and perplexing, so are they challenging and filled with opportunity. And it is those opportunities, of which there are many, that I know this summit has sought to identify, from the areas in which the Commonwealth can help finance emerging markets, to how we collectively engage in sustainable business practices and strengthen collaboration between the public and private sector. And I note collaboration is a word that is coming up constantly in the sense of the Commonwealth. And you'll have heard over the last 2 days that the Commonwealth advantage isn't just theoretical. And I should know. My mother livery company, the Worshipful Company of World Traders, co-published with the Royal Commonwealth Society a paper in 2010 that first looked at the Commonwealth effect, concluding that there is indeed a considerable trade advantage within the Commonwealth, and perhaps more significantly, that the relative importance of Commonwealth members to each other, collaboration, is increasing. With investment 27% higher between Commonwealth countries and bilateral trading costs, on average, a fifth lower, that advantage has only grown stronger over the intervening 13 years. So united by our rich history, shared values, familial, legal, and administrative systems, and of course a common language, our Commonwealth family has a unique convening power and huge global influence. As you know, accounting for a third of the world's population, 2.6 billion people in total, over half of whom are under the age of 30, it has near bottomless wells of talent and experience to draw upon. And on which note, it is fantastic that we have been joined during the course of this summit by representatives of our two newest members, Togo and Gabon. Now, one of the key strengths of our family of nations is precisely that. It is a family. It brings together some of the very smallest countries with the world's largest, all in pursuit of a safer, more sustainable, and prosperous future. As I like to say in my theme this year, connect to prosper. In fact, of the 56 Commonwealth members, 33 are states with either a population of 1.5 million people or fewer, of which many share the same characteristics. 25 are small island developing states, including Samoa, which will be hosting the next Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in October next year. Now, at just 1.12 square miles, the City of London would fit many times over in the metropolises that dot the Commonwealth. I can assure you, though, in terms of economic, academic, and cultural output, we do like to punch well above our weight, and something that I'll be talking a lot more about on my many visits abroad during the next 12 months. I'm in day 18 at the moment. But I will be spending approximately 1/3 of the mayoralty taking trips around the world, making connections that help people to prosper abroad and also here in the city. And I very much look forward to visiting many Commonwealth members, because there is not only incredible potential for even more trade and investment between our nations, but actually far more important is human commerce, unrivaled opportunities to learn and share expertise on the key issues facing us, from building resilience to navigating the complex world of environmental, social, and governance. Just look as an example at the work the City of London Corporation is undertaking with our friends at the National Institution for Transforming India, where we are collaborating on an initiative, the UK-India Infrastructure Financing Bridge, to help meet India's financing needs. And here we're leveraging the City of London's expertise in structuring and phasing major infrastructure projects. The partnership seeks to secure long-term investment, particularly through structured debt financing, building a diverse investment and financing set of models that are stable and sustainable with manageable risks. By being here today, you are continuing London's proud coffee house tradition, one in which people from all walks of life met to discuss everything from commerce to literature. These were, originally in 1660, the penny universities of their day, because it cost you a penny to get in. You drank as much coffee as you wanted, but people really went to them to learn. And our coffee houses played an important role in the development of financial markets, whether it's the Baltic Exchange, Lloyd's of London, or in fact the Stock Exchange, which all grew from them. And I say this because my full mayoral theme is Connect to Prosper, seeking to celebrate the many knowledge miles of the Square Mile, showcasing the city as the world's coffee house, a place where people come together from across the globe to find solutions, as you have done over the past 2 days at this summit. The scale of global challenges before us are monumental, but together we are greater than the sum of our parts. And by leveraging that Commonwealth advantage, we give ourselves the best possible chance of rising to the occasion. As a final note, I just wanted to say a word about what our city has often done. We have a phrase in the city that the City of London is all about commerce, community, and charity. Those are the three things that we do. Now, commerce, you spent the day doing. It's about doing business. Charity is about spreading goodwill to our fellow man. The philanthropy, the amount of effort you put into collaborating with strangers that makes them friends. But community is also a celebration. And we have a sort of saying in the city that if you can make a meeting last an hour, there's at least a justification for a glass and some canapes. But you have done 2 full days. And so I am absolutely delighted that we are going to be hosting you at a banquet here in my home at Mansion House this evening. And I look forward to seeing all of you, properly dressed, I assume, looking great, and doing what we should also do as community, and that is to celebrate and have fun together, because there are the true friendships formed. So again, my sincere thanks to Lord Marland and the Commonwealth Enterprise Investment Council for organizing such a productive summit. And once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today, and I look forward to celebrating with you this evening. Thank you.